Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to the Accelerate Your Life podcast. Nothing new over here. It is still me, your host, Coach Mallory. I guess actually, technically, the only thing new, well, technically not new yet, but the day after you hear this podcast, I will be a newly 30-year-old. Better yet, okay, I guess a better way to put it. This is my last podcast. Oh my God. What? What? I'm not 30. I'm turning 29. Oh my God. I should probably just redo this whole thing, but we're gonna leave that in because how do I mistake my age that bad? I'm not turning 30 this year. I'm turning 29. Okay. Let's try that again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Accelerate Your Life podcast. I am your host, Mallory, and tomorrow is my birthday, and I am turning 29 years old. So, this is my last podcast as a 28-year-old. Okay, a little bit less chaotic there. We got it. But anyway, I am super excited that it is heading into my birthday week. I'm actually recording this on Sunday, so it's like 5 days, 6 days before my birthday, which I'm not usually a Sunday podcast recorder, but I just kind of needed to get this done because I am planning to take my birthday off from work on Friday and just trying to get a little bit ahead of the ball here. And I don't know, I'm on my second iced coffee, okay, as you can maybe hear the ice jingling here. Vibes are high. It's been a great weekend. Had a fantastic day yesterday, and I'm just feeling like the yapping. And today's podcast is going to be just a chill, fun episode, kind of centered around my birthday. So without further ado, I suppose we shall just get into it. So as you can tell from the title, I wanted to do a little take on this being, going into a new year, a new revolution around the sun. And I feel like a lot of people when it comes, to doing stuff like this in their birthday and turning into their year, it's always like, you know, 29 lessons I learned or 29 things I loved about, whatever. And I kind of wanted to do a little bit of the opposite. And obviously, there's so many positives about life and things I'll be taking into this year and lessons I've learned in my 29 years. I think last year I can't remember, but it was something along those lines. But I think at the same time, something about getting older too is also learning a lot about the things that you don't like or that don't serve you and learning how to set boundaries with people, with yourself, with work, and just kind of really finding your lane in life, right? And so I think with that comes kind of realizing the things you like don't, necessarily want to expend your time or energy on or don't serve you. So I wanted to kind of take the angle today of 29 things that I will not be taking into year 29. And we're just going to chat, yap. I'm just going to run through these. Really, I'm just yapping with myself. And I did write these a couple days ago, and then I have not revisited them since, which I do on purpose because I think it just makes getting to kind of go through the list again with a fresh eye because I didn't even go back through it. I just kind of wrote them and I was like, all right, those all felt like authentic and good to me. And then kind of when I run back through them, like I feel like you get my very authentic, what was I thinking in that moment? Like why did I put that on that? So I'm yeah, just gonna kind of talk you through like some of these I might have more to say on them. Some of them just kind of might be enough said. But I am very, very curious, like which of these are ones that you agree with and are maybe personal preferences and boundaries that you have with yourself. What are some that maybe are the opposite of you? Because these are not like necessarily things that you should not be taking. And like I'm not right for any of these things. Again, this is just me finding my lane in life, right? So I'm always curious too. Like maybe other people have different points of view and other ways of doing things. And I love, love, love to hear from you guys. I like especially love to hear from you podcast listeners, because I know I say this all the time, but like I just do this for fun. I just do this for education and for you guys. There's not a lot from the podcast that like I get, financially or anything like that. I mean, there's nothing actually. And so for like getting just knowing that people are listening, like it just like that's my like payment. Like it lights me up. It makes me so happy. So if you are listening and you want to share just any thoughts or which of these, you liked, resonated with, are opposite of, DM me, let me know. Like it makes my day. Also just have to plug it. If I just ask for one thing for my birthday, like, comment, review down below. But anyway, let's rock and roll with the 29 things that I won't be taking into year 29. Starting with number one, making plans that I don't really want to make. Okay. I feel like a lot of people will relate to this one, and I think this is a very like normal one that kind of comes with getting older. I've never really honestly struggled with being a people pleaser, but I do sometimes, or I have struggled with like fear of missing out, FOMO, right? And I will commit to things that ultimately I'm like, I get there and I'm like, this is just not my vibe. I didn't really want to be here. I also like moved to a new city 2 years ago, obviously, and I was very much in a yes mode, but I have now found my community. I have found what I like. And I just don't think I'm in a position where I need to be committing to things or making plans that I don't really want to make, whether that be fear of missing out, trying to just please somebody or whatnot. Like I think I'm at a place now where I know in my gut, like, is this something I want to do or not? And if it's not a full body, hell yes. Like I don't need to make that plan and I don't need to commit to that. So pretty simple, but that's number one is I'm not going to be making plans that I don't really want to make or commit to. Number two is it's actually kind of it's in the same category, but kind of opposite, but not really, because obviously both of these things can go together. But number two is how do I phrase this so it makes sense? Things I won't be taking. I won't be taking being non-committal. I will admit and can self-reflect and see that I think when I was trying to get better at number one, as far as like not making plans that I don't really want to make, I in some ways swung the pendulum a little bit too far to the other side and became very non-committal. So people would ask me to do things or if I would want to do something, and it was just my response was always like yeah, maybe we'll see. Like let's check again when it gets to Friday or when it gets to the day before I made the plans. And as somebody who has been on the receiving end of that from also friends, it is so annoying. And I honestly just wasn't recognizing that I was doing it until I had one of my good friends kind of call me out for it. And I think I've said this before on like in passings and whatever content, but I love that about my friend group here is that we're gonna like hold each other accountable, call each other out, keep it real. And I had kind of felt like I hadn't been really invited to some stuff, or I had also like, I feel like just been leaning a little bit more introverted and I was ready to kind of get back out there. And I said, hey, I want to get invited to more things, like ready to kind of be included more. And she was like, okay, cool. Like, can I give you some feedback though? I think that the reason we haven't maybe been is because when we were, it was just, there was that lack of commitment and it didn't make us feel great. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I hate when other people do that to me. So there is a fine balance between these two as far as you definitely do not need to be saying yes to things that you don't want to do or not making plans that you don't want to make. But if you are going to commit to something, just commit and don't make because I think and I never meant this and this was never my intention, but I know again being on the receiving end, I think it can make people feel like you're waiting for the next best thing. And like if something better comes along, you don't want to be committed to this because whatnot. And I just never want to make people feel that way. So I am simultaneously not taking in being non-committal to year 29. I'm going to be more committal to the things that I want to do. Number three, things I won't be taking into year 29. Dirty dishes in the sink at the end of the day. Self-explanatory. I wouldn't say I'm a very clean person, and sometimes I'll just have my like ADHD moments where I'm like, everything needs to be put away perfectly. So this is honestly a pretty rare occurrence for me, but it is something I've noticed. I feel like I've been slipping up a little bit more, and I just feel so much better when like things are together. So that's gonna be a rule I'm setting. Like dishes will be clean, no dishes, sink will be empty at the end of the day. So something I'm not taking into year 29. Number four, I am not taking in. I feel like do I need to use the negative every time? I feel like the only problem with the way I approach this is things I won't be taking in is I just want to remind you every time the things I say, like I'm not doing these things. Okay. I feel like I've emphasized that enough so y'all remember. Okay, so the next thing is letting church be an optional part of Sundays. My 28th year around the sun, church and my faith became so huge for me. And I've talked about that a little bit before on the pod as well. That was something I've always been in faith. I've always been a believer, but I grew up Catholic. I kind of fell out of it as I got older. And this past year, like I have just refound my own relationship with God and Christ, and it's been amazing. And I think as a normal part of that process of kind of getting back into it, like baby steps. And church like started off being kind of a okay, when I can make it, I'll go. And then it definitely got more consistent, more consistent, more consistent, but it hasn't been quite as 100% as I would like it to be. And I feel like I have been still slightly looking at it through as like an optional lens. And that is not something I want to take into next year. So, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be realistic that I know I might not always make it to like live service, but there's no reason that I can't dedicate an hour of my Sunday once a week to sit down and only be focused on, receiving the word of God and just in his presence. So that is going to be a non-negotiable for me this year. Number 5, feeling like I have to immediately respond to a text. I hate having red bubbles. I do not understand you people who have 100 notifications. It gives me anxiety. And I have gotten better over the years, but I still tend to be somebody who feels like, okay, I saw that text, like I need to respond to it. And I just don't. I just don't. It's just, this is a personal thing. I just want to get better at not feeling like I immediately have to do that. So I will not be taking in that idea that I need to immediately respond. All right, number 6. Won't be taking in excess drinking. If you guys have followed me on social media, let's say this past year, I think I've shared a lot that my relationship with alcohol has changed a ton. I mean, it's just changed a lot over the last decade. Decade, yeah. Okay, that means I was underage drinking, maybe a little. But it's changed a lot, I would say, over the last like 10 months, 8 months. It's become way more infrequent than it used to be. Like I'll go months now without having a drink. Um, and excess drinking, I think, has been a good bit out of my life for a while, but there's still times where I will definitely wake up and I'm like, I did not need to have that many. And I know we all say it, like, no one ever feels good, but truly, like, I never feel good. Like, I can't tell you the last time I woke up, like, and was like, that was worth it. Like, it just doesn't happen. Every time I'm like, no, I don't, I wish I didn't do that. And it's not even like obviously in the moment you feel bad. So you're like, oh, I wish it. But it's like truly, I look back at when I was doing it in the night before. I'm like, it wasn't even fun enough. Like it wasn't fun. So that's just something I am definitely, I feel like ready to fully leave behind. That does not mean I'm never going to drink. I definitely enjoy a cocktail now and then, but I just feel like there's really no reason I need to have like, I want to say 3 max in a single sitting, and that should even be rare. That's just a personal thing, but I cannot tell you the last time more than 3 I have ever been like that made sense. Um, so kind of on the same note, the next one is things I will not be taking in is vodka sodas. Not that I really had that many. Like I feel like I've also left this behind, but the principle of this one is just like I think when it comes to my relationship with drinking and how it fits into my life now, like why would I be having something to me that is gross? Because to me, and this is all personal. I don't want anyone to feel like judged or like maybe you genuinely love like clubs. I mean, I love club soda, and if you get like maybe a high quality vodka, people, I get it. You might love that taste. For me, I don't. So I know if I'm drinking that, it's because I am drinking to have a drink to probably get drunk. Like that is the purpose of having that drink. I'm not doing it for the taste. I'm not doing it for the like aesthetic. I'm not doing it for the vibe. I'm doing it because I'm trying to just have more alcohol and I'm like, oh, let me have something lighter and a lower calorie. If I'm doing it for that reason, I don't need to be doing it because I don't need to be drinking to get drunk. That is just my personal, like where I'm at in life right now. So kind of the representation of this one was like not bringing in like vodka sodas or shots or like things to me that provide no like enjoyment of taste or enjoyment of vibe. And it's only about like the outcome of being buzzed. Like to me, that is just, it's out for me. So that's that one. Enough said. Okay. Number 8. Sorry, I'm kind of going through these slowly. Refusing to get my hair wet because it's not hair wash day, which is somewhat hard because it's just I have extensions now, and so like washing my hair is a process. But I just don't want to be that girl that is like, I didn't dunk my head in the ocean because I didn't want to get my hair wet. Come on, life is only meant to be lived once, so I will not be taking that into year 29. Next one. Approaching dating through the lens of the spark. I feel like I need to stop and spend just a second on this one. Okay, so I will not be taking that in date to year 29. This has been like a pivotal one for me this year. And I actually, when I feel more ready and more what's the word I want to look for? When I feel more able to, I guess, just speak on this subject a little bit more educationally. That's not a word. Educatedly. I want to do a podcast episode about this. I'm a little bit nervous to do that because I don't have like a psychology background. I am no expert in that, but I have definitely learned about myself that in the past I have been a little bit more of like the anxious attachment style. And I think with that comes a lot of this anxious avoidant loop, which usually is kind of what brings that spark feeling at the beginning of relationships. It's kind of that chase. And it's very hard when you're used to that and you've had dynamics where that quote unquote spark is there. And like this, we all know the spark at the beginning feels really good. It feels exhilarating. It feels exciting. And it is hard to then move away from that and approach something in a way that might not have that spark, but that doesn't mean it's not good for you or healthy or right. And that's kind of been something I've been really, really working on. The spark to me, again, this is all like everything I'm sharing is like what I've learned about myself and my personal things. But it's never been a sign of something healthy. It's always coming from a typically foreshadowing something toxic. And also, like, even if it wasn't necessarily on this like anxious avoidant loop or forecasting anything that's going to be toxic, it's still like the spark. When we think about what the spark is, it's something that's we're talking about something that we're feeling at the very beginning of something, right? And that means all it's based on is physical attraction and like unknown, right? Like what the game of what like cat and mouse, like what is this going to be? Ooh, I don't know. Like the exhilaration, right? It's not actually based on anything of substance. You don't at the point when you're simply saying, "Oh, there's a spark." Like you don't know the person, you don't know their character, you don't know like your compatibility. It's not based on these things that are really what I think like lifelong relationships need. I don't think that means that when you have the spark, you can't eventually end up having those things. Obviously, like you could learn that those things are there, but it's just I've had to learn, like, remind myself, like, this, the spark is not based on anything substantial. And so, anyway, I'll kind of maybe get this more to this in a little bit later. I'm kind of going to stop there on that one, but I have just done a lot of work to, yeah, get to a place where I'm like, okay, the spark is not how I want to approach dating. And I really want to learn to focus on things that are much more in line with what I'm looking for in a lifelong partner. So that is number, what are we on? 9. I'm not going to be approaching dating that way anymore. All right, number 10. Feeling awkward doing things alone. For example, going to a concert, going to dinner, not doing that anymore. Um, and I didn't really in year 28. I actually went to a concert by myself. I've definitely went to dinner by myself alone. I have no problem doing that. But I did go to a concert, which was like it was like standing room only, which was kind of interesting. I feel like I'd feel less awkward at a concert in seats. I don't know. Um, but I've been single the last 2.5 years, so I've kind of had to learn to do a lot of things alone. And I love it. I think it's great. So yeah, I'm just not gonna have that fear anymore for sure. Number 11, won't be taking in screen time past 9 p.m. on weeknights. I should also, okay, this is one that's making me preface that some of these are like goals. They're more like, okay, I'm not necessarily doing this yet, and I definitely need to like prove to myself I'm not taking these things in, but this is my goal. And also I'm saying for accountability. So not perfect with this. It's I used to be pretty good, but I feel like it's inched back and back and back a little bit. Partly because I'm like, I'm forecasting something. There's just like something going on that I'm like long distance needing to talk to somebody that is causing me to be on my phone later than I want to. But we're going to have to find some compromise there because, yeah, it's just I can tell it's affecting my sleep and whatnot. So I want to have that be a goal. Like I just don't want to have screen time past 9 p.m. on weeknights. Number 12, keeping clothes that don't fit just in case. My body has changed a lot in the last year. I've been sharing that journey very openly on social media with my hormone struggles, my kind of inability to regulate my weight outside of even my just literal choices around nutrition and training. Um, and I have found myself kind of just saying, like, once I fix my hormones, like, I'll be back, I'll be back. So, like, keep these clothes. And I have just really had to kind of adopt, like, recognize that there's no, no matter what's going on, there's no like quote unquote getting back to where you used to be. That doesn't mean you're not gonna like maybe lose weight and fit in old clothes. Obviously, this is more of a like philosophical thing. But you were like I'm getting older too. Like I'm just a different human. I do different choices. Like I'm really trying to adopt the just whatever stage I'm in. Like this is my version of life right now. And so I don't want to something like clothes, right? Like where I just don't want to cling on this, oh, I have to get back to this spot. And just in case. And for me, again, these are all personal, but like I think to me it's blocking me from just kind of being able to accept where I am now. So, I every time I do a closet clean out, like if things don't fit, they're gone. I'm not gonna hold on and like, oh, maybe just in case they fit, because it's just not serving me personally. Next one, number 13, wearing clothes I don't feel confident in just because they're trending. All right. I'm not a huge fashion girly. I would like to be, and I'm trying to get into it. And it's fun to play around with things and try new things. That's different than this. But I think I've also kind of got caught up in, oh, well, like this look is really popular, so I need to wear this or whatnot. Like, for example, the like kind of like longer jean shorts that are a little bit baggy for girls right now, they're really in, and like some people look so good in them, and I'm like, okay, I just can't pull them off. And I'm like trying to force myself to wear them because they're in, but I feel not confident every time I do. And I'm like, wait, why am I forcing myself to do this? So that's just me. I am just like, whether things are in style, not in style, if I feel confident in them, I'm wearing them. All right, next thing I'm not taking into year 29, number 14, not putting sunscreen on my face daily. That changed in the last 6 months. First thing I do in the morning, tinted moisturizer. Shout out I think it's called Audacity. I used to say Odacite. Love it so much. I live in Texas. It is hot. I am freckly. I'm getting older. I've just learned, I feel like when we were younger, we're like, I don't need sunscreen. I want to get tan. No, put your sunscreen on. I am putting my sunscreen on at 29 years old and from this day forward every day. Okay. Next, number 15. I am not taking half of my subscriptions into 29, year 29. We are doing an audit, a full audit, inspired by the fact that I got freaking charged $100 for my Fitness Pal Premium the other day for a year subscription. I haven't tracked my macros in 5 months. And I freaking forgot to cancel the auto renew and I got charged $100 and I was pissed. So I'm like, all right, full audit. We're going through the credit card statements. We're going through all the like Apple subscriptions that, you forget about and whatnot. And we're getting rid of the ones I don't use. I've got like every streaming service. I literally watch one show. Like, why? No, get rid of them. I hope that inspires you to do the same. Next one. This is again a goal. This is a me giving myself a goal that I will do this, but I will not be leaving stuff in my car that I'll air quotes take up next trip. When I definitely won't. Like I don't is anybody else do this? Like I every time I get home, if it's something like not groceries that like technically can sit in the car and be fine, like I don't know, a case of water I got or uh trash. I'm like, I'll get it next time. I'll get it. Why? Why do I not just do it right then? And then I never do it next time, you know? And so I just want to make that it's just like, that's a discipline thing to me, like a 1% better. Like I can just freaking do this. So personal goal. Next thing I won't be taking into 29. Again, this is like a goal. But I feel like I made up this term, but multi-screening when watching TV. So watching TV, being on my phone, having my laptop open, like I don't need three screens. The other night this is so embarrassing. I was also FaceTiming somebody. So like that took up one screen, but I was watching TV because we were FaceTiming watching TV together. It's long distance relationships requirements. But like, so we had our TV, watching TV, laptop open on FaceTime, iPad in my lap because I was editing a video while simultaneously watching TV, and then phone because I was texting somebody a message. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's embarrassing. So that's a rule. Like, if I'm doing one thing, just focus on one thing. Number 18, overpacking for trips. Not taking that into 29. Also saying this to hold myself accountable. I do it every time. I don't think I do, but I'm like, I don't need, I'm not doing it anymore. Okay. Next one, I'm kind of running through these because I feel like I'm yapping about some of these so much. But Being 5 minutes late. I pride myself in being on time and I'm a very organized, punctual person, but I am almost always anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes late because I do not factor in the time ever. I live in an apartment and it takes me time to walk out of my apartment, get on the elevator, get down to the parking garage, get my car out of the parking garage, and I just never factor in that time, and that's my toxic trait. I'll look on Google Maps, I'll be like, oh, it's 15 minutes away. Cool, I'll leave like 15 minutes early. And it's like, no, you need 20, right? And it's just, I can do better. I've been doing that for years. So we're going to change that this year. Number 20, rushing in the little moments slash like operating out of rush. I think I wrote this list right after I spilled coffee all over my counter because I was just for no reason, no reason, not in a rush, not, but like just, moving so fast trying to like put the creamer and put the milk in, whatever. And then I just knock it over. And it's like, why do I need to be moving with rush? I did a whole episode sometime last year, I think in February, on just like slowing down and this conviction I got. And I've noticed myself get back into these just like rush feeling patterns. And I don't like it. It creates this always consistent feeling of anxiety. So working on that. Next one is I'm gonna be just be really honest. I need to not take texting and driving into this year. It's a really bad trait. I definitely do it. I know I'm being judged, but I know a lot of you guys do it too, and it's bad. We need to stop. There is literally no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Like I can send a voice memo if it's that urgent. I can call them. I can even use voice to text, which isn't ideal, but still better. Stop texting and driving, Mallory. I'm not gonna do it this year. Okay? I'm just not. I'm not. I'm gonna try really hard. There's no excuse. Um, I don't like this one, but I put it on here. Knowing any current events or major trends. I feel like I do live under a rock when it comes to those things. Like as much as I'm on social media and like literally work on social media, I'm always the last one to get on a trend. I don't know anything that's going on in the news. It's bad. So I want to do better. I was trying to like listen to maybe some sort of news podcast like once a week or I don't know. But partly I'm just like, do I actually want to change that? I'm gonna be honest. I might still be taking that into year 29 because I don't, it's just I feel like I live a happier life without freaking knowing what's going on. Next one, buying clothes. Okay, this is like a hot kind of take because I mean, sometimes you gotta get new clothes, but I put in parentheses outside of workout clothes and like miscellaneous things like bras, underwear, like things that obviously you personally have to have. And like workout clothes, I sweat and I use that every day. But I've been using Nuuly. And it's great because I don't wear a lot of regular clothes. Like I'll go maybe do something once a week where it's like, okay, get dressed up, whatever. And so I'm like, why do I don't need to have these like expensive, cute outfits that I wear twice a year. Because I feel like, first of all, I get dressed up once a month, once a week. And then you don't really want a repeat outfit. So it's like twice a year, I might wear that. And why do I need to spend money on that? I don't. So my goal is to truly buy like almost no new clothes this year and just do rental services for things I need. So, personal thing there. Things I won't be taking into year 29, matcha obsession. Never had it, not taking it in. I don't get it. I feel like the matcha train it's always been like there, but I feel like the craze right now, everybody's on their matcha train. Why would you get grass when you can have just delicious espresso with a latte? I don't get it. Never understood it. Number 25, we're almost there, guys. Worrying what I will do at a time that doesn't exist yet. This is also just a goal of me to me. I just worry, I just worry about the future and everything all the time. And I think just in my line of work too, being an entrepreneur, there's just this sense of like never feeling secure, both in what you're doing currently and then also the idea of just like, yeah, this is great, but like it's probably not going to last forever. Like I'm not going to do this forever. Like I'm going to be health and fitness coaching until I'm retiring at 50, maybe. But like, but that's the thing. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but I don't need to know right now. And so I want to work on that is like just not worrying about something that doesn't even exist yet. Four more. All right. This is a manifestation one. I will not be taking my hormone problems into year 29. Unfortunately, I probably will. The reality is I probably will be taking them into at least some of it, but I am manifesting that they will not exist to the degree they are at now by the year 30. I'm just honestly, if everybody could just pause this for a second and like say a little prayer for me, I would really appreciate it because if you've been around, you know that I have been through it, going through it, 5 years. I haven't had a period since coming off of birth control. It sucks. It's awful. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I was gonna say something, but it kind of defeats the one before of not worrying about the future yet. But there's just things I don't know, like if I will be in store for me given where I'm at right now. So I just want to manifest that that's not the case and not take these hormone issues into year 29. So yeah. Number 27, I will not be taking my wannabe runner girl era in. I got into it a little bit there. You guys saw me going to red clubs, running like 2, 3 miles, sometimes four, crazy. And I really did like it. And don't get me wrong, I will still run sometimes. I've only ran once in the last few months because I've had to stop with my hormone issues. And I do think when it gets nicer and not as hot in Texas, I'm sure I will just sometimes randomly go out because it just does feel so nice. But I feel like there for a minute I was getting caught up in the like, oh, everybody here in Austin's a runner and running marathons and running half marathons, and maybe I'll do that. I don't know. No, I'm not going to do that. We're not taking that into this year. Number 28, I will not be taking in, always forgetting the freaking grocery bags because the grocery stores here, you got to pay for the bag every time or just bring your own reusable. And I have so many in my car and I never bring them into the store. And we're changing that. Okay. We're changing that. And we have made it to the 29th one. 29 things I won't be taking into year 29. I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. I don't think that I will be taking my singleness into year 29. There you go. Podcast got some hot tea, hot take. I was obviously like alluding to that already during the podcast. But that's all I'm gonna say. And stay posted. But I'm very happy. I'm very excited to be heading into this 29th year. I just feel like I have a lot of good things going on, a lot of things that I have prayed for a long time, a lot of challenges, a lot of things that I'm honestly still struggling with. And that's always going to be the case, though, like that's always going to be life. And it's just going through them and remembering number 25, not worrying about what I will do at a time that doesn't exist yet. But I am just really happy with a lot of other things, and that's all I'll say. And I just appreciate you guys being along for the ride and just happy for another year with y'all. So love you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, let me know what you agreed with, what you don't agree with. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week as a 29-year-old. Bye.